It was 28 degrees in Philadelphia, but some hometown fans dressed like it was Florida, a possible influence of Dick Vermeil, who had prepared the Eagles in the Sun Belt for the Vikings, a team that was supposed to roll over and play dead since it was from the NFC Central Division. It didn't work that way. Minnesota came out rolling over the Eagles. They scored on their first possession when quarterback Tommy Kramer found number 85 Sammy White to cap a 70-yard drive. Many critics claimed the Eagles were suffering from mental fatigue. It looked like they were right as the offense let scoring opportunities slip away. The defense was letting Viking receivers slip away on their short routes. Tight end Joe Sensor, number 81, set up another touchdown in the second quarter to put Minnesota out front by 14 points. The Eagles had lost wide receiver Charlie Smith to a broken jaw the previous game. So Ron Jaworski went to back up Scott Fitzke. But Fitzke broke his foot making this reception on the frozen AstroTurf. This left Dick Vermeil with only 2 wide receivers. Fortunately, one happened to be All-Pro Harold Carmichael. Carmichael prevented things from getting any further out of hand for the Eagles and narrowed the gap to 7 points at the half. Philadelphia had started to warm up its offensive machine, and as the third quarter began, Carmichael again provided the spark. His reception put the Eagles on the Vikings' 8-yard line and helped open up the running game. Behind a great block by number 69 Woody Peoples, Wilbert Montgomery, who had been battered by the Vikings for most of the game, now fought back, taking 3 defenders into the end zone to even the contest at 14 points apiece. It didn't stay tied for long. Number 59 Matt Blair and number 79 Doug Martin iced Ron Jaworski in his own end zone. Although Jaworski managed to unload the ball, it was ruled intentional grounding from the end zone, so it was a safety. And Minnesota again had the edge, 16-14. But then it was the Vikings' turn to make mistakes. Eddie Payton fumbled a punt, and the Eagles were in scoring position again. Although Montgomery had been unable to run outside on the Vikes, the blocking of teammate Leroy Harris on the defense's safety let Montgomery take advantage of his great ability to cut back against the flow and put the Eagles ahead for the first time. But with a score at 21-16, both teams started making mistakes. In a span of 23 plays, there were no less than 8 turnovers, but those made by the Vikings proved fatal. The Vikings had lost only 3 fumbles the entire year. Now they watched the entire season pass before their eyes as they lost 3 fumbles in a matter of minutes. Minnesota could only muster a total of 88 yards and 5 first downs for the entire second half. The final blow was another turnover late in the game when number 55 Frank LeMaster intercepted a pass to set up yet another scoring opportunity for the Eagles. With just under 2 minutes remaining in the game, reserve fullback Perry Harrington put the final tally at 31-16. For the third year in a row, Dick Vermeil had moved one step closer to the Super Bowl. This week in Philadelphia could be the last, if toughest, step in a long climb to the top. For the first time in 11 years, Roger Staubach will not represent the Cowboys in a playoff game. His legacy looms large, and Danny White has earned the confidence of Tom Landry and the Cowboys. The confident Atlanta defense halted White early on and grounded the Cowboys' primary offensive threat, Tony Dorsett, number 33. When the Cowboys did wander into the end zone, it was declared off limits. Officials ruled that Butch Johnson, number 86, never had possession of this Danny White pass. Johnson chose to calmly debate the decision. The touchdown was denied, and Dallas settled for a field goal. A Billy Joe Dupree touchdown tied the game at 10, when the magnitude of Atlanta's explosive offense was reflected by its smallest member, number 84, Alfred Jenkins. The 60-yard touchdown pass from Steve Bartkowski was the first of two big plays by the 150-pound Jenkins. The next covered 50 yards, exposing the Cowboys' soft spot, the secondary. The catch set up the Falcons' second touchdown, a 1-yard run by Lynn Kane, and Atlanta took a 17-10 halftime lead. Falcon linebackers have been commended for their team play, but Joel Williams, number 58, put on an individual performance hard to match by a world-class sprinter. Barely missing Danny White on a blitz, Williams recovered to pass 9 Falcon teammates in his 50-yard pursuit of Preston Pearson. After forcing the fumble and nearly recovering it, Williams was the first to throw a block on the return. Williams' effort initiated a 70-yard Atlanta drive, ending with a scoring pass to William Andrews, number 31. Atlanta 24, Dallas 10. The NFL's most versatile running back illustrated yet another skill as a contortionist. Charlie Waters' reaction was no clue to the Cowboys' state of mind. A Dallas touchdown, countered by an Atlanta field goal, had the Cowboys within 10. It would take 2 Cowboy touchdowns to win. Skeptics claim that Danny White lacked the experience and skill to rally the Cowboys in the Staubach style. The skeptics were wrong. With less than 4 minutes remaining, White exhibited confidence, poise, and patience. All the components necessary to orchestrate the comeback expected of him. The 14-yard touchdown to Drew Pearson drew the Cowboys within 3 points. Doomsday arrived late in Atlanta. The Dallas defense stuck their chests out and stopped the Falcons cold. Head Too Tall Jones demonstrated that when the Cowboys stumble and fall, they're not down for long. With 49 seconds left, second down and a yard to go from the Falcon 23, White again looked for Drew Pearson. While Pearson caught the winning touchdown pass, 2 teammates threw the winning blocks. Herbert Scott, number 68, and Preston Pearson, number 26, picked up the second down blitz and allowed White the split second he needed. The touchdown was the Cowboys' third of the fourth quarter and finalized a 30-27 Dallas win. The fringe benefits of victory include a berth in the NFC Championship game. The Atlanta defense was virtually non-existent in the last 17 minutes of play, and the Falcons' Super Bowl flame was doused. For Dallas, the operative word is maturity. Danny White has come of age. If football is not a game of emotion, don't tell the people in San Diego, because Charger fans have cheered themselves blue in the face, not to mention other parts of the anatomy. Like their fans, the Chargers have been a team motivated by emotion, hoping to reach a hysterical peak in Super Bowl 15. To get there, San Diego had to beat the Eastern Division champion Buffalo Bills and the magic of their hobbled quarterback Joe Ferguson. Ferguson's leadership has made the Bills seem invincible all season, but the drive of number 74, Louis Kelcher, made the quarterback's strained ankle serve as his Achilles heel. Ferguson's fragile condition was one of concern and pity, but with playoff elimination on the line, the Chargers showed no mercy. San Diego led the NFL with 60 sacks, and they reached Ferguson 3 times while trampling Buffalo's revered pass protection. In 1980, the Buffalo line allowed Ferguson to be dropped just 20 times, but in number 12's greatest time of need, it became the most vulnerable. Despite excruciating pain, Ferguson refused to sit himself down and risk the consequences of future pummelings. His courage became the spark of an angered Bills team. As the league's best defense, Buffalo was determined to stop the Chargers while imposing a small lecture on gridiron etiquette. Like a runaway steamroller, Buffalo was determined to flatten everything in its path. The 3-man rush of Sherman White, Fred Smerlas, and Ben Williams each drew double blocking coverage, but still made Dan Fouts feel the heat. Buffalo used unusual formations, like defensive end Sherman White as linebacker, to surprise the Chargers, especially number 22, Mike Thomas. Buffalo's pressure defense prevented Dan Fouts' Gatling gun passing game to connect with its characteristic frequency. Number 45, Bill Simpson's interception, was one of 4 Charger turnovers that stymied its potent offensive attack. Such fortune allowed a determined Joe Ferguson, gimpy leg and all, to connect with number 82, Frank Lewis, and post the Bills to a commanding 14-3 halftime lead. With Buffalo denying Fouts a completion of more than 20 yards, San Diego's deep threat strategy was revised. The Chargers temporarily shelved the long ball in lieu of short, crisp passes. With the Bills concerned with the Chargers' speedy receivers, Fouts regularly looked for number 46, Chuck Muncie. Muncie compiled 133 total yards and was the fulcrum in this rare demonstration of San Diego ball control. This diet of short passes paid off as Fouts found number 18, Charlie Joyner, open for 6 points. Joyner's touchdown and a Rolf Benerschke field goal drew the Chargers to within 1 point and in turn inspired their defense. Runners like number 20, Joe Cribbs, became putty in the Chargers' vice-like grip as San Diego buried the Buffalo attack. This defensive domination allowed Fouts the opportunity to engineer a go-ahead drive. But while the Bills were awaiting another short pass, Fouts reverted to his old habit of the long ball. As it did with last year's Los Angeles Rams, Ron Smith's touchdown gallop propelled his team into the conference championship game as the Chargers won 20-14. Smith's reception foiled Buffalo's Super Bowl quest and terminated one of the best years of the Bills franchise. Both the Chargers and Bills have had successful years because of their depth of talent and their intense emotion. But one look at the scoreboard would distinguish the agony from the ecstasy. The Raiders met the Browns in Cleveland last Sunday with a temperature a knee-knocking 1 degree above zero. With a wind chill factor of 37 below, it was the coldest postseason game in 13 years. But Oakland shirt sleeve Dave Dalby matched his California cool against the elements. Cleveland coach Sam Ratigliano discussed field conditions with a noted meteorologist and football forecaster. Browns quarterback Brian Sipe, number 17, longed for a dry ball and unfettered fingers to catch it. Sipe was also hampered by the Mad Stork, Ted Hendricks, number 83, Oakland's 5-time All-Pro linebacker, who is enjoying his finest season. Allowed to freelance by the Oakland coaching staff, Hendricks roamed the field, discarding blockers and disrupting both the pass and the run. The Browns defense made some big plays of its own as Clarence Scott dropped Jim Plunkett on a safety blitz. But the Browns' biggest play of the day was made by cornerback Ron Bolton, number 28. His 42-yard return of a second-quarter Plunkett pass for the game's first score warmed the cockles of the hearts of the frozen faithful. The fans were grateful not only for the touchdown, but also for the chance to move around. The extra point was blocked, but the Browns led 6-0. Jim Plunkett retaliated immediately, hitting Raymond Chester to set up a touchdown that gave Oakland a 7-6 lead. With the Browns' defense denying the perimeter of the field to the Raiders' dangerous receivers, Plunkett found the middle vulnerable. Tight end Chester's 27-yard reception set up Oakland's second touchdown, scored by the man who plowed in for both Raider touchdowns, Mark Van Egan, number 30. Van Egan may be the most unpublicized back in the NFL, but he has averaged over 1,000 yards for the 4 seasons prior to this one. With Cleveland having added 2 Don Cockraw field goals, the score now stood 14-12, Oakland. The Raiders' brilliant defense meant to keep it that way. Lester Hayes made his 17th interception of the season, the all-time NFL high for 1 year. Oakland was unable to hold its breath as Cleveland mounted a late charge. The Cardiac Kids once again sent pulses skipping. Greg Pruitt caught Brian Sipe's pass with less than a minute left in the game to spur hopes of yet another miracle. With 2nd and 9 on Oakland's 13-yard line, Ratigliano and Sipe decided to go for the touchdown since the brutal weather had already nullified 3 field goal attempts. Cleveland may be a conservative city, but its coach is a gambler.
Red slot right. You go regular. No, the red slot right. Left back stay 88. Let's go.
Brian Sipe had pulled countless games out of the fire, but Mike Davis iced this 14-12 win for the Raiders. There was no joy in Mudville, for Mighty Casey had struck out. Another look at the game-saving play shows Sipe had sure footing and good protection. He simply threw a bad pass, something he hasn't done often in amassing over 4,000 yards this year. Sipe joined Joe Namath and Dan Fouts as the only men to reach the 4,000-yard mark. Cleveland has become synonymous with last-second victories. But Oakland has been winning heart-stoppers since the Cardiac Kids were in grade school. The Raiders, only 9-7 last year, can graduate to their third Super Bowl with a victory over the San Diego Chargers this week in the more agreeable climate of Southern California.